Hello, and thanks for joining us here on the Unofficial Controller podcast. It's me, RGT, joined by a special guest this week. Also, I believe we owed this person a show as well because he gave all us hosts a good hiding in the host league or the UCP Fantasy League. So, yeah, so we had to have him on for that. But also, you might have noticed if you're on the Discord that a few weeks ago I was discussing modern gaming, especially the latest machines, your Xboxes, your PS5s. Not so much a Switch, but mainly those front two. And I've just been a bit disillusioned with it, and I was thinking of coming away from modern gaming for a year, maybe hitting the seventh gen, your PS3s, your Xbox 360s. And then this person sent me a little DM and said, "You know what? I'd like to join you on that journey because I know this guy's a very big seventh gen fan." If you're in the Discord, you'll know this guy. He's called Fat Zangief. But as for this show, we will be calling him Simon. And thank you very much for coming on the show today, Simon.
Thanks for inviting me. It seems like it's going to be a really exciting year because, like you say, I've got all these games sat behind me. Don't really play them as much as I'd like.
Yeah.
It's going to focus me to concentrate on doing and getting through some of them.
Yeah, and I think, and we're also going to do is the format of this basically is we've got a list of games from 7th gen, mixture of 360, PS3. Mostly it's going to be PS3 because we're both big fans of PS3, but we have Xboxes, we have Xbox 360 games. So there's a splattering of them in there we'd like. We're going to list our games we haven't played and we would like to. We'd like to go and play through. We've also got some games we'd like to replay. So we'll have a list of those each. We've decided on a game we're going to start for the first month, which we'll let you know at the end and the reasons why we've picked that game. But yeah, this is really exciting because if you've got someone to do it with, it pushes you to discuss and play the game together. Not only that, on Discord, we're going to put a little separate channel on Discord. If you want to join, if you want to take part with us, by all means, play through. But if you'd like to chat about your experiences, come and join the Discord. We'll have a little group on there. We'll probably play at 7th gen. We'll call it 7th gen year or 7th gen playthrough, something like that. And we'll list a game. We'll do a checkpoint for the game where we can all play to, have a little discussion, and then play on to the second or third part, or however how many parts we do. And that'll just be a good way of involving us all, playing some of these hidden gems, some of these big hitters that none of us have played or would like to play again, and just a good experience, really. I think it's going to be fun, isn't it, Simon?
It's going to be very fun. Yeah, the hardest part was picking which ones.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've got to whittle them down.
Yeah, there is a lot. We've got two big lists each. And, people who have played through 7th gen realise when you look back now, especially coming through the generation we're in now, I mean, yes, there's still a lot of games nowadays. That sounds like a spoiled gamer, but back then you were never short of finding a heavy hitter to play. Whereas I find nowadays the heavy hitters are less and you have to find the hidden gems more. But when we first discussed this and said this is what we're going to do, and then I started making a list, by the time I'd got to about the second or third page, I thought, right, I'm going to have to narrow these down a bit. I thought I'd played a lot on that generation. Turns out I hadn't. Did you feel like that, Simon, when you did your list?
Well, yeah, because when I first started playing it, you pick the console up, you get 6 or 7 games with it because I was late to the generation anyway. And I didn't even play those. I picked 3 that I really enjoyed, hammered them, and then the PS4 came along. Got that quite early in its release. So then it's on. But it was last about 2 years ago. I thought, you know what? There's so much on this system I've not even looked at.
Yeah.
They're all like £2 or £3. I'm gonna start picking them all up, and I have, and you get that. You get into that mindset where, oh, I've got this new game, stick it in, put it on for 20 minutes. Oh, that's pretty good. Take it out, stick the next one in you bought that day just to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
And then they just sit on the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the good side and bad side to that generation. I mean, me and you were talking the other week about, there's very few games. Well, I say very few. There's a handful of games which we would class as expensive for the system.
Yeah, it's not that many.
No, but then the ones you'd class that you want to play as expensive are probably about the price of a modern game anyway. So and also, you know, I'm a collector. Everyone knows I've got from ZX Spectrum right up to modern day, and you 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 need with these older systems, you need to set up with them as well, unless you've got a modern way to play them. But you need your CRTs, you need the bits and pieces. But with this seventh gen, you just plug it in your modern TV. They still look good, still sound good. You still got open world games, you still got RPGs, and the choice is so much there. But it doesn't feel like it's retro yet, but it's priced so cheap and fairly, and that's what I really like about it. I think it's really good. Plus, for the 360, you got that backwards compatibility. If you've got an Xbox One, Simon's got a One X, I believe, isn't he, Simon?
Yeah. Because me,
Yeah,
me 360, the disk drive on it's dead. So
yeah,
I thought rather than buy another one of them, get a One X. Most of the stuff on there that I want to play is probably backwards compatible. I found a couple that aren't, but
yeah,
most of the stuff I only really wanted to play the exclusives anyway. I've got most of the third party stuff on the PS3 already. So
yeah. That's pretty much where I was at with that. I've got sort of substantial collection of both. I think I'd mostly play PS3 on third party stuff, but then if we're narrowing down to exclusives and that on a month where it's a Xbox exclusive, then I can either play out the Series X if it's compatible, or dig out my 360 from somewhere from storage, I should actually say. But yeah, so that's basically the plan of it. So if you fancy joining us on this journey, this seventh gen journey, we're going to be doing it for a year. We're going to be picking one game a month. Which this one we've sort of jointly done together. And then after that, we'll take in turns, I reckon, or no, we'll probably discuss what ones we want to play, narrow it down. We'll say each month on the Discord what we're going to play. And if you fancy joining us on the journey, if you're already in Discord, just awesome. If you're not, come join Discord, Unfinished Controller Podcast, and and jump on with us. And that's going to be good. I'm really looking forward to this. It's a great little project, I think, and that just come about with me having a bit of a wobbler about modern generations. That was all. Uh, but I'll do what we usually do, and I'm going to have to ask you, Simon, what have you been playing?
well, as we've been talking about, I've just recently got me One X, and so I've been battering that. Picked up a few exclusives
Yeah,
and started off with Forza Horizon 3. Cannot believe I've waited until now to play the Forza Horizon games.
yeah,
It, oh, I thought I'll just put it in, see what it's like. And then the next thing I know, my missus is tapping me on the shoulder saying, "You have to turn that down. The kids are going to bed now."
yeah.
So I put that in. I got Rise, Son of Rome. Been playing that.
Oh, yeah. What's that like? I haven't played that.
You know what? It's simplistic,
Mm.
but it looks amazing. To say that was a release game on the
Yeah.
Xbox One, it looks beautiful.
Mm.
And it's sort of Arkham style combat, with a bit of parrying in there. But there's some puzzle elements the further on you go. Some of the boss battles are pretty tricky. But I thought it was really good.
Mm.
I don't think it's very long, so
No.
it's finished. But it's going to have to wait a year now.
Yeah, I've heard a few people who have sort of got into the Xbox late picked that up as an exclusive, and everyone has sort of said, "Yeah, you've got to try it because it is a decent game." I'm sure I've got the game. But yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely. Is anything else you've been playing on the Xbox or?
GTA 5. Just to test the disc out because I was annoyed at CEX, and then ended up playing it for about 4 or 5 hours the other night. But I've had to take that out and say, look, slap my hand. I can't get into that right now. Not again. Do playthrough for that. So
Yeah, we were discussing off air about this, and that's one thing that I always say with Rockstar does with GTA games. They're never a slow burner. You don't
Mm.
have to give it 10 hours to get into it. They launch you in them games. They know what they're doing. They hook you in straight away. And like you say, you were just testing a disc and 4 hours has gone by and you're like, easy fella, gonna have to back away from this a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
But yeah. Anything else?
Um, I don't think there is. I think I tried a couple of me 360 games just to see if they were backwards compatible.
Mm-hmm.
So I snuck Fable Anniversary Edition in.
Mm.
I'll go with that. That's really good considering how simplistic it looks. It looks like a because obviously it's a an original Xbox game that's been up-resed, so it
Mm.
looks like a PS2 game or an
Mm.
Xbox game, but it plays quite modern. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But the
It
thing
was
I
like,
found with that, I played that 3, 4 years ago, I think, for the first time. Bit similar to yourselves. I had my original Xbox 360, Xbox One, and I had a few games and hadn't. I'd been collecting the games I wanted to play, but I hadn't really dived in. I thought, right, I've always wanted to play Fable. Started playing Fable. I played the original version on the OG, and I just found that they wanted to give you this almost sort of medieval fantasy village, and it did make you feel like you're in a medieval fantasy
yeah,
village. The setting was really good. They done really well with that. Um, and I put quite a few hours into it. I really enjoyed it. I really, really enjoyed that game. And I'm glad that, well, hopefully that'll come out soon. I know Xbox have got the new Fable coming out. And
I think beginning of next year. I
mm,
think it said that it was going to, which hopefully won't clash with GTA 6.
yeah, yeah, you don't want that. Um, but even so, I know a few people complained about the trailer. But I thought that did have that essence, that had that little bit of
Yeah, it had,
humour.
it had, was it Richard Ayoade who was in that one? Yeah,
Yeah,
but it did have the like you say the because I thought the voice acting considering because I
yeah,
take it they use the same recordings from the original one in the
yeah,
anniversary edition. I thought if I'd have played this 20 years ago, I thought this is really good. You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Me too.
with the different regional accents and all that. And I thought,
Yeah,
they've put effort into this. You can tell
yeah,
that they've put effort into it.
yeah, yeah. I'd have been all over that. It's so funny, and chicken chaser. That's,
I mean,
that's
I think the first thing I did was grass that bloke up who was chatting that one up behind
yeah,
the house.
behind the house. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
first thing I did. Yeah, brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That is, yeah. So I enjoyed that. That's when you go back to, especially Xbox's back catalogue like that, and you realise how many bangers they had as exclusives at the time, which don't tend to see them so much now, which is a shame. But they had a good library there, and especially when you go back to the original Xbox, I was originally just going to buy the exclusives for that console, and there's loads of exclusives for that console. They really put the effort into trying to get people over to the system, and there's loads. I mean, I could do a year's worth of hidden gems just from that console because I found so many good ones which no one talks about. You pick them up for £1 and you think this is really well made game. Good
mm.
graphics for the time, good sound. Something a bit different. So yeah, yeah, it's a good system. But anything else from Xbox original you've been playing or?
Um, no, I think that's it. I've installed a few. I've installed Gears of War 4. Not tried that yet. Installed Jade Empire from the original Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
quite good. So that's sat on there as well. But the
Yep.
thing is, I did all this before we'd agreed to do this. So now it's the worst possible time for me to buy it because it's just going to be, unless I'm playing a 360 game on there, it's just going to be sat collecting dust.
Yeah, well, you never know. Maybe the next one we do, we can do it like Console Pacific. Maybe do an
Yeah,
OG Xbox player game a month or
yeah,
360 or something like that. But yeah, we can see for next and see how well this go. But I think it's going to go well personally.
yeah. It's
um,
going to go okay.
right, I will go on to what I've been playing.
Oh yeah, what have you been playing? That's what you
You got
say.
it. um, I mentioned last week I've been playing or started playing Killzone Shadowfall. I fell off that quite quick. It's it's I said last week it's a good looking game. it plays well for what it does. The story's meh,
Yeah,
and as I got through the game, you just seem to go to an area. I mean, this sounds like a game trope anyway, and a lot of games do this, I know, but this just felt a bit like they'd really pushed the graphics on it and then sort of put the gameplay in afterwards, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Um, and so you just felt like you'd after the first two missions you didn't mind, but after four or five missions it started getting a bit maybe I didn't give it enough of a chance, but you'd get to an area, you'd have a mission to say, I don't know, collect this from this area, clear the enemies out, stop the alarm going off, get the item. Then more enemies would come and try and stop you, clear them, go on to the next bit to pick something up, clear the enemies, stop the alarm, get the item. Then more enemies would come, clear them to escape, go on to the and that. And I started thinking, this is rinse repeat, but just in different scenery. Excuse me. So I fell off that a bit. But I still, for some reason, this is a complete turnaround for me. I know. I still wanted something first person, and as people know who know me, I never used to be able to play them because of motion sickness. I've only got into them. Went back and played the older ones, which seemed to have sort of trained my brain a bit. But
yeah.
I still don't know if I could play competitively online. Even when I watch videos, that's still a bit. Ooh, that's a bit fast. When you see him whipping the camera around, it's a bit. Oh, but um, story mode games I'm okay with. And I went back through Halos and bits and pieces. But so I thought this is a game my friend played, really enjoyed, which I remembered on the PS4, which is Deus Ex: Mankind Divided.
Yeah, that's been sat on my hard drive for about 8 years. They gave it away with PS Plus quite a while back,
That's it.
and,
Yeah.
and I've seen trailers of it, and is that the one where you can choose either to go in guns blazing or stealth it?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. A
yeah,
bit of both. It works well both ways, really.
it
I'm
looks
only a
really.
couple.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it looks really
No, no,
interesting.
you're right. I'm only a couple of hours in. It's at the start as well because I thought, well, I haven't played none of the other Deus Ex games. So at the start, I said, would you like a recap, a 12-minute recap video? So you go, oh, okay. So I watched that and that tell you how this leads to this story
Oh,
in a lot of video sort of cutscene way. So that was quite good. That gave me the stories a bit all over the place. I was trying to remember it all, but it gives you a bit of a kick into the game. Um, Same again, looks very good. I like the world they've done. This sort of dystopian world set in the future, not very far in the future, which is quite amazing. But yeah, set in the future, and like you go to like China, and one of the cities had got so big they'd literally built a city on top of the city and
ah,
things like that, and that looks really good. Graphics look good. Um, it's um, it's got that it's got that bit of cheese to it. Do you know what I mean? Your character's got that almost when you're gonna let me at him kind of
ah,
attitude to him, which is in a way is quite funny. But the game plays really well. There's some real nice twists to stealth mode, first person stealth mode, which I've never really seen before, which I quite enjoyed. Like for instance, you press L3 to hide behind, um, say a box or sign or something, and then as you look round, that'll keep Mark and little X's round where you can then just press a one button press to whip to that area next. So
right,
you could yeah you can
that
so you ain't got to run yourself in case you miss and get caught. You just go straight in that area and you can creep up on people. You can do stealth kills. You can hide. You've got like an invisibility shield and stuff because you're augmented, so you're like a superhuman. But yeah, I've quite enjoyed it. I played a couple of hours last Sunday as of recording. Um, yeah, I was quite enjoying that. So I'm looking forward to playing some more. Been a busy week, so I haven't had a chance to play too much more of it. But weekend off this week, so I'm hoping to get back into that some more. And for a free game on there, that's one I'm glad I've tried really because we were discussing last week. Excuse me. Premium and Games Pass, and you know obviously a lot of people get a lot of value out of them. I struggle to get value out of them. That's probably being an older gamer and a me thing rather than a system problem. But just from having too much choice, you don't tend to, for instance, what you were saying, you bought all those games, we're chucking them in for,
Yeah.
10, 15 minutes ago, and you don't tend to stick to them. But I am trying with this. And so when I saw Deus Ex, I thought, no, I'll download it. I'll use the system I'm paying for and see how it goes. So, but yeah, so far, really, really good. Played a couple more hours of Xenoblade, not much. Not much to talk about really, because a couple of hours on there is about 10 minutes on a normal game. I've literally probably just walked across the map, but no, yeah. So I'm pulling myself back into that. I really must concentrate on getting that done before I do anything else, because 80 hours deep to walk away is a bit much. So I must get that done. And finally, on the Evercade, Indie Heroes 4 again. There's a little game called Block'em Sock'em, which is by, I don't know if anyone who watches YouTube and gaming YouTube will know of a guy called John Hancock.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and this is John Hancock's game. Um,
Even though it made one.
yeah, he's made it in development with some devs and that. The version on the Evercade, so I know he sells them for different systems, NES, Super Nintendo, Mega Drive. I think this is I can tell by the music, sounds like the Mega Drive port. It's a basic game. There's only about 25 levels. I blitzed through it in less than an hour. But I think the way you do it is you can keep playing it to complete it and see if you can get a higher score by doing it is less moves. And basically, what it is, you play as a little John Hancock, and you'll run along the screen. You'll have these blocks in different areas. There'll be boost bars that slide them across, and you'll have a block of, say, a red one. That will then destroy. You can only destroy red blocks with that. But what's the next blocks that hit? That will change to that color. So it almost becomes you have to work the puzzle out of getting them in as least moves as possible, as many as you can. Then you go on, and then that will say your target is to only leave 4. So once you get to 4, you then go through the door onto the next level. Um, Brilliant little game. Really well made. For like I say, I'm pretty sure mine one on the other game is the Mega Drive port. Excuse me a moment. Quick drink. Is a Mega Drive port, and which looks really good. Controls are properly tight, really good. You think because your little character's looking up, you think you'd have to keep touching the control pad, the D-pad, to get him just lined up, but it always just seems to be on the one you want every time. The controls are really good, and that's the thing I like about it, because it is just left and right and a button to release the block, and that's all you need.
It's like a first Tetris type of thing, is it? Is it the block
Almost like a yeah, like
yeah,
it's literally you throw the
clearing
block.
colours?
You're just in a little room and you're clearing the colours, and some of them get tricky because you'll give you like 10 moves, but there's 50 to get rid of, and you're thinking, oh. But then if you're left with a colour and that colour of that block is in a hidden place, you can't get to it.
Uh,
You've lost. You need to then do it in an order to get them, and that's good little puzzles. But yeah, really good. I got quite addicted to that. So I've done a couple of playthroughs. I think the best scores uh 750 points, I think, which is probably quite bad. But because I continued quite as unlimited continues on it, because that's all about that's designed for you to complete it to see what score you get. So
but when you continue, does it reset your score? Or
no, you
does it
just
stay?
continue that level until you get
Ah,
it right, and then you just go on to the next level. But yeah, really good. Um, and I think that probably so far out of my Evercade games, that's probably one of the ones I've played the most. I think that Indie Heroes 4, some great games on there, and these little indie developers, the games they're making now are, they're as good as games that were made back in the day. I know it's probably the tech's easier to make a more quality game than what the dev kits were back in the day, but they make
it's
some
coming up,
brilliant stuff.
isn't it? Because they've got so much history of video games behind
Yeah.
them. Come
Mm,
up with something new in that style.
yeah.
It takes a lot of effort. I mean, I know you had the boom back in the early 2000s of the indie style games with like sort of Braid and Fez and stuff like that, and with all
Yeah.
these mechanics. So it's got to be even harder now.
Yeah, definitely, yeah, and it's you're also developing for old systems. So do you release it as a download for your um what do you call them, your ever cartridges, or do you release them as a physical for the old systems, or do you release them as both? So it's quite a tricky thing as to where to aim your market at, because some people like emulators, some play on PC, some like to download them on the Steam Deck, some like to have the original cartridges to play on the original system. So, yeah, it's tricky, but yeah, they've done a good job with that. And also, I think because I saw John Hancock on the show the other day, and he was at where was he? I think he was at Phoenix, I think, and he had a table there, and he had all the cartridges out selling them. So he's got them for all the different systems, and I thought, yeah, now well done, really good little game for something that basic. Looks good, sounds good, plays really well, and that's all you can ask for from a puzzle game, really. That's you tick those boxes, and you're doing well, I think. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. Um, so I think we'll get on to our list. So I'll let you go first, Simon. So Simon's going to list all the games he's never played and would like to play on Gen 7, and then he's also after that he's going to list games that he's either started in the past or has played quite a way through, but basically just games he's had experience of but would like to replay. And then we'll jump over to me, and I'll do the same. So I'll hand over to you for your list of games on.
Well, I find it hard to believe that there won't be some on here that we haven't both picked. So but I'll start with the never played. I'm actually going to give myself away here as a bit of a plastic gamer because there's someone here that should be in everybody's.
Hey, you wait till you see mine. I mean, this is what George always says: if you're a rubbish gamer, do a gaming podcast, because on my list, everyone's going to be going, "You do a gaming podcast? You haven't played that." So yeah, don't worry. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Right, I'll start with me never played. They're not in alphabetical order, even though it looks like they are. But Batman Arkham Origins is my first one. Back to the Future, the Telltale game. Deus Ex Human Revolution. Heavenly Sword. Mafia 2. Max Payne 3. Little Big Planet 2. Mini Ninjas. South Park, The Stick of Truth. Infamous. Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction. Gears of War 2. Tomb Raider 2013. Mass Effect, that's a big one. I should have that ticked off. Watch Dogs, Crackdown, Fallout 3, Driver San Francisco, Resident Evil 5, and 007 Legends.
Nice.
And the ones to replay, or I've done a couple of hours in, I've just realised that I put one in me never played here that I'm going to move over because I've actually spoke about it already. But, replayed ones, Bayonetta, Blur, Fight Night Champion, Remember Me, Wet, Enslaved, Odyssey to the West, Red Dead Redemption, 50 Cent Blood and Sand, Sleeping Dogs, Valkyria Chronicles, The Last of Us, Star Wars Force Unleashed, Blazing Angels 2, Fable Anniversary Edition, GTA 4, Heavy Rain, Burnout Paradise, and Viking Battle for Asgard.
Now, there's a lot of games we got similar there. I was almost reading off my list. I was like, no way. Yeah. So I'll go before we go any further. I'll go through my games I want to play, and then I'll do my replay games, and we'll go from there, and then we'll discuss a few of these, and then we'll go on to what we've chosen for the month ahead. So mine are I've got Gears of War, Blue Dragon, Forza Motorsport 2, Project Gotham Racing 3. I've got Call of Juarez. I don't know how you quite pronounce it.
Call of Juarez. Which one have you got though? Is it the Cartel one, or I'm trying to see him on here because I've got both of them myself.
Yes, the original one, the first one, I think.
Bound in Blood.
Yes, yeah, I think that's the first one, isn't it?
Well, it's the one with the red label on the PS3, and the other one's the black label. So I think
must be. Um, I've got Renaissance of Fate, Alpha Protocol, Dragon's Crown. I've got Dark Void, Portal 2, Resistance. I know people are going to be saying, "How have you not played Resistance?" Launch title for the PS3. I just couldn't play first-person shooters then, so that's hence I'd like to go through those. But I know there's two and three, but for the keeping the list reasonably shortage, I'll go with just the first one. Um, Metal Gear Solid 4, God of War 3, Far Cry 2, um, Deus Ex, is it Human Resolved?
Human,
I think
Human Revolution.
that's it.
Same. Yeah, I picked that one as well.
Yeah, Human Revolution. One I've actually put here in my played list that technically should be in um, to play again. So I'm technically have already started it, which is my most recent game, which is Dishonored.
Ah, yeah.
Um, Dead Space, Burnout Paradise, Max Payne 3, Bayonetta, Castlevania Lords of Shadow, Vanquish, Rage, Sleeping Dogs, Brutal Legend, Midnight Club LA, probably the dub edition, I think, is probably the one to get for that, I think. Crisis, The Puppeteer, and Prototype. Um, for my replay games, I'd like to jump back into. Oh, yes, no, I have got. I did. I think I added these ones in. Did I do Fable 2? No, I haven't done that yet, have I? I've got
No, you're not.
Fable 2, Amped 3, Halo Reach, Perfect Dark Zero. Uh, this is going to be a bit of a random one, but Rockstar Table Tennis. This is one of
Yeah.
the very few Rockstar games I haven't played. And I loved all the story with how they were trying to build a new engine and being in the studio, in the dev studios. They would play table tennis competitions to wind down from development and then ended up making the new engine to play the game of table tennis, which is brilliant. So I thought I'd give it a go. Yeah, I think. Oh, and I had also 007 Legends.
All
Um,
right.
and then to replay, I had Red Dead Redemption. I mean, I played that game so many times, but my wife got me the Switch port for Christmas, which I haven't started yet, and I just thought, God, I'd love to get back into that on the PS3. LA Noire, Blur, SSX, Driver San Francisco, Motorstorm Apocalypse, and The Saboteur, um, which is a superb game. I'd love to play that again, and I never
I've,
did
I've,
finish it properly.
I've been looking at a Saboteur. Is that the one that starts out in black and white, and as you complete it, it goes into colour?
Yeah, set in you're sort of part of the resistance in
Yeah,
World
yeah.
War Two in France, and that's black and white. And
Looks
as you
really
free
interesting.
areas up, you get the colour back. But very stylistic game, and I think that's EA as well. I think EA done that. Yeah, I might be wrong, but community corrections if not. Um, yeah, yeah, really good game that is. That's a really good game. So um, I'll pick a couple here off my list and the reason I want to play them,
Mhm.
and then we'll jump back onto you and some of yours. Portal 2. Um, everyone talks about Portal. Um, it's this masterpiece of you know sort of distorting time and going through and fixing this almost like a puzzle game where you have to um, jump through certain walls in certain areas to travel yourself through. And I've always had it. I've just never played it. Um, I don't know. I don't know why I haven't. Don't know if there's always an excuse not to play it. I don't know what it is, but I think well, that's almost like a must play. I think Portal 2 for what it is, how different it is. They've never done really anything since. I think they've done a lot of Portal 2, like Bridge Constructor, little funny game, but they've never done anything else after that. And I just thought, I really want to get into that. The Resistance games, like I said, because I just couldn't play FPS games then, so I'd love to get into those and see where it all started on the PS3. Um, Forza Motorsport 2. For some reason, I hadn't played it. I put loads of hours in Forza, the original Forza Motorsport. Really enjoyed it. And it is them early ones is just Xbox Gran Turismo. And who doesn't like buying cars, putting big turbos in them, then blitzing everyone to grind to get more money? It's great fun. Hence, I'd like to go jump onto that. What else have I put down here? Dead Space. Um, I was sort of on and off with survival horror games at the time. And I love space stuff, so it was always weird. I never played this. And then I think recently with the remake coming out, Ginge was talking about it on the Discord recently, and I just thought, do you know what? I'd like to get into that. And yes, it'd be nice to have the PS5 bought, all the glossy graphics, but let's play it where it started.
Yeah.
Let's play how it was done, and it probably does look a bit ropey to the original now, but at least you can see what they were going for. Max Payne 3, another Rockstar game system that I didn't get into. Um, the Max Payne games, I've sort of dabbled a bit, but I've never really followed them through. Really, and there's a bit of a cult
Yes.
following for them, and
Same with me. I tried the first one on PS2, and
mm,
it was another one where I thought this is really good with the slow mo stuff and the bullet
mm,
time. But
mm.
this looks good. But like you say, it's nothing. It's not one that I've got above. Let's say I got Max Payne 3 sat there.
Mm.
I've heard it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
Heard it gets quite difficult in places, but
yeah. I think, and I come back to this again. I just think that PS2, PS3 era, original Xbox Xbox 360 era. I think we were just spoiled for choice. There were so many games out at the time. I mean, even these are just lists of games, and this looks like we aren't gamers at all with what we've put down. But you think of the games we have played on the system, hundreds of games, and there's still bangers to be had on the system. Same again, Bayonetta. I didn't play Bayonetta on the PS3. I've got it, didn't play it.
that is
Never-
one thing I've got it on the PS3. But I'm thinking of picking it up on the 360 because apparently it's a far better
oh,
uh,
really?
version of it. Yeah, apparently the PS3 can struggle. I don't know if it was just a bad port or what. I have
Uh,
played a little bit of it, and it does get a bit chaotic,
mm,
and you can't really tell what's going on because the frames start to drop.
yeah. Well, I
But
did. I picked up a couple of years ago. I picked up the double pack for the Wii U, the Bayonetta and
yeah,
Bayonetta 2, and the
that's a place to play it. The Wii
is it?
U.
Is
Yeah,
it? Right. Pity we can't add the Wii U in. Uh, yeah, but that's really interesting because that reminded me recently of what's the hack and slash game? Oh, Stellar Blade came out recently, and then that suddenly got me thinking. I nearly bought that, and I thought, well, surely I need to play Bayonetta first. I mean, that was, or even
yeah.
long.
What I played of it, especially the cutscenes,
Mm.
it's very it's mental. You
Yeah,
know, she's a witch, sort of bounty hunter type of thing with these guns on her heels, and every character's like dialed up to 11. And what I played, I thought this is brilliant. This is some really good humor in it, and
yeah,
that's why it's on my replay list. But I think I will pick it because it's not that expensive, so I think I'll pick it up on the 360 and see if it's any better on there.
yeah. That might, if we ever do play that one, that might be worth. Maybe I play it on the PS3, you play on the 360, and we'll compare and see, see what the versions are like. Um, and what else do I have? Brutal Legend. It's a bit of another one,
Nearly
bit of a cult game with Jack Black and
Nearly put that down. I played quite a bit of that earlier this year, well, at the end of last year.
oh yeah, I think I remember you saying.
Yeah, and it was great. I was really enjoying it. And then there's a bit where it turns into a strategy game. I don't know if it carries on like that, but it really put me off. But that was whether I was in the wrong mood for it or what. I'm just like, this isn't what I've been playing for the last few hours,
Yeah,
and I'm like, nah, I don't even know what I'm really doing. So
yeah. I found sometimes games can do that. I remember playing Nino Cooney on the PS4, I think. Must have been the second game. And that was gorgeous, really good. But it was 1 minute it was a strategy tactical game, then it was an RPG, then it was a city building game.
Base.
And after a while, your mind just gets blown because there's so many genres going on. You're just like, can we just sort of narrow down back to one that I was playing a minute ago, please? But yeah, it can put you off with games like that. Um, Midnight Club LA, I think it's the dub edition one is the ultimate one, but um, I dabbled with the Midnight Club games. I can't remember any of them. I definitely didn't play three because I was always a Need for Speed guy. I played all those, bought them on release, and loved them.
I was a,
PS2,
I was a
PS3.
Burnout guy. I've played a couple of Need for Speeds, but I always went back to Burnout.
Yeah, and that's why I put Burnout Paradise down because I've never clicked with Burnout games. I don't know whether it's because they're not licensed cars or anything. They just never clicked with me. And I think they should do because everyone who loves driving racing games, everyone loves Burnout apart from me. So I thought maybe I'm not giving it a fair crack. That's why I've
Well,
put
you
Burnout.
might like Paradise because it's the first Burnout games. It was do this race, take this many cars down, you know,
Mm.
3 laps. This one's more open world, so you drive
Ah,
from
okay, yeah.
location to location, and it seems a bit more cohesive. I didn't like it at first when I first played it on release. My brother-in-law bought it, and because I was used to playing Takedown 3 and Revenge and Dominator on the PSP and all that lot, and then he sticks this in, and I'm like, this isn't Burnout.
Mm.
Get it out of the PlayStation. This is rubbish. But I've played it since, and it is Burnout. It's just a bit more to it.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting one. But I added it on because I just think I'd like to play it. And then there was games like Prototype always looked interesting to me. I never jumped in. Rage looks really good, and the same again. I've had that game a while. I think it's first person, but a bit of a Mad Max sort of apocalyptic game.
Mm.
And then on a recent meetup with some Discord guys in Norwich, went to a place and I had a load of strategy guys. I picked up the strategy guide for Rage and sort of was flicking through it, thinking, I think this is a bit of me. This game, this has passed me by Rage, so I'd love to play that. Same with Vanquish. Never dipped in with Vanquish.
That was the last PS3 game I'd completed. Vanquish.
Oh,
That is
really?
load of fun.
Yeah.
I reckon you'd really enjoy that. And
Yeah.
it's not very long though. It's about 5 to 8 hours.
Oh,
You know,
really? That is short. Yeah.
it is a
But
short game.
that's not always a bad thing either.
But with it being it's platinum games in it, so the combat's tight. Um,
Yeah.
it's just doesn't make the story makes no sense at all. I didn't even know where I was. It like starts off with Russia attacking. I think it's San Francisco or New York, and then the next thing you're on a space station, and, in this mech suit. For some reason, the guy smokes the biggest cigarette you've ever seen in your life. It's like 3 times the size of his. It's really. But the the combat's fantastic. You can just sliding on your knees everywhere, gunning everything down. It's really good fun. I
Oh,
wouldn't mind if that's one you definitely wanted to play. I'd play that again tomorrow.
oh, fantastic! Oh, that'll be one for a later month, definitely. Then,
Mm.
um, Far Cry 2. Never been a Far Cry player. Never really got into them, but I remember Far Cry 2 because when me and my mate we used to share a place, Bald Border. We used to share a house, and he'd borrowed this off our neighbour, and I'd come back and just seeing set out in like Serengeti in Africa, and he was in his jeep, and he had to keep stopping, getting his map out, see if he's going all right. And it just fascinated me because I just thought this is pretty cool, and I've always thought I'd like to go back and play that. And I think they had that real fire physics where you could set fire and it'd spread, and that's always interesting. And I've always said I want to go back to that. I want to go back to that. Now this is ultimate time to maybe play that because I can add it on this list and sort of force me hand a bit. So that's always interested me. Anything else? Probably the Call of Juarez or whatever it's called. Reminds me of a bit of a, well, it might not be, but first person Red Dead.
Yeah,
Um, and also, my mate played that. He really enjoyed it.
I think
Um,
that starts off in I think it's the American Civil War. I think you start off because I chucked that in when I because like I say a lot of these games I've played the first 10 minutes of just to see what they're like.
mm.
I'm sure you start off in like on the battlefield.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
you hold you.
oh, right. That sounds interesting. And then other ones, a bit like I got that Renaissance of Fate. I just thought a bit of a no one really talks about it when it comes to RPGs or JRPGs, and I've had that a while and thought,
Heard of
oh,
it? So you mentioned it, and no, never heard
I'm
of that.
I might be wrong. I even think it's Square Enix. I'm pretty sure Square Enix as well. So it must have been one of their JRPGs that didn't really get spoken about. So I thought that'd be quite interesting. And then there's like Dragon's Crown, just because everyone talks about Dragon's Crown. I'd love to play that. And then I've got
That's the
ones.
Vanillaware game, isn't it?
Yeah,
Didn't they bring out that unicorn one recently? What was it called?
yeah, Unicorn. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Similar sort of premise, that almost 2D side scrolling RPG sort of thing, innit? And so yeah, so I already fancy that. Now I've got stuff like Alpha Protocol, Dark Void, just because I've always found the covers really interesting and the back of the games, they look almost sci-fi, look sort of almost X-Files in some of the things they do, but I've never dipped in, and they're cheap. So there's probably a few of the picks off my. Oh, and obviously I'll just go to Sleeping Dogs. Same again.
Have
Everyone's
you never played Sleeping Dogs?
no, no.
Oh my word!
I've
You
got
will.
I've got two versions of it as well. I know everyone's saying, "God's sake, RGT, what are you doing buying these games aren't playing them?" Well, this will help me play them hopefully. But my mate played Sleeping Dogs, and he was just like, "Oh, mate, you love GTA, you'll like this. It's really good," and blah blah. So yeah, that's something I really want to give that a chance and get stuck in, and again play it where it started on original systems. Um,
Believe it or not, I've got both. Like you say, I've got it on the PS3. I bought it when it was cheap for the definitive edition on the PS4, and I prefer it on the PS3. I don't know why. I just feel like it plays better. It doesn't feel as weighty on the PS4.
really?
Yeah, I don't know what it. It's just something about it. I thought this doesn't feel the same as when I played it on the PS3, and then I loaded up
Mm,
the PS3 again, and I was like, yeah, it does feel better. But I love that game. It's great,
mm. No,
really good.
that's
That's another
definitely
one I
one.
want to playing again. So yeah, if you're dead set
Yeah.
on playing that, definitely.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So that's probably what I'll pick out of mine. There's a few reasons why and why they're on there, why I haven't played them, because you probably think this list thinking, how do you even talk about games, my man? Jeez. But what about your list? There's any, you have a chat about on there, Simon? Any that you've picked out and reasons why, or
Well, ones that I really want to try. The first one that jumps out is Mass Effect.
yeah.
I've never played any of the Mass Effect games, and I love my story games. And I know is it like an RPG as well?
Yeah, it's that
Oh, wait.
because it's BioWare, I think, isn't it? Is it
Yeah,
BioWare, done? Yeah,
yeah, it's bad.
it's a typical BioWare game. I mean, I've never finished them, and I really what I've played of them, I've really enjoyed, and I fell off them. I even got Mass Effect 3 for the Wii U, and then that does a recall over the first two games to get you up to speed. And that's really good because you have your tablet and you have all your maps and enemies on your tablet, a bit like the Batman games on there. And I never finished them. I never finished the games. And it's a shame because it's something that you sort of have to clear the decks for on a Mass Effect game because that's got to be your only game because there's a lot of decisions, story mode.
A lot of
It's
story. Yeah.
a lot of story. They pull you in and you're in that story. But from what I've played of them, very good, very enjoyable, very good. Yeah, definitely.
Another one that I'd really like to try, just because I don't do turn-based games. Well, I
Me,
always say that, but
I struggle.
I'm not a turn-based guy. And then someone will say to me, "Do you like Worms?" Yeah, I love Worms. Well, yeah, that's a turn-based game. I'm like,
Yeah,
did you like Hogs of War? Oh, brilliant game. Turn-based game, mate. And you're like, yeah, but I don't like new turn-based games.
yeah.
But,
I'm same as you. I do struggle with turn based.
I want to try that South Park Stick of Truth because I thought if we're going nostalgic, what's more 2000s than South Park? So definitely want to give that a go.
Yeah, and that's one I would as well. I haven't got it on my list. I didn't actually even think to put it on my list. I would do because Mrs. RGT is a massive South Park fan. So we could probably sit
We're
down and
there and
play for it
watch.
together. That would be good fun. So that's a good call, that one, actually, Simon. That's a good call, that.
Um, let's have a look on here. Driver San Francisco.
Ooh.
I've heard that's quite interesting.
Mm.
I've seen a couple of videos on it, like reviews and stuff, but I've never I've never. I don't think I've played a driver game since the first game.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've done Driver 1, Driver 2, brilliant games, PS1. Driver 3, and then they done struggled because they were trying to take on GTA then. Then they done Parallel Lines, which is just broken. The game is broken, even if you try and play it now. They they went right overboard with it, spent
Is
too
that
much budget.
is that the one? Which is the one where you sort of the main character jumps into different people?
That's San Francisco.
Is that San Francisco?
Yeah. San
That's it.
Francisco, I bought that actually on release, and a couple of years ago I actually got the collector's edition with the car in as well in the box because
Yeah,
I love that game so much. I can't remember if I had that as a hidden gem or not.
right.
I think I might have done, but anyway, it's just that they needed to change it up. So they made this game where you can literally, you'll be on the freeway of all the cars. You can come out and go into anyone. So if you're chasing someone and you're
Mhm.
trying to stop them up the road, you can come out, go into the bus driver ahead, stop that bus across the road to block him off, to come back into your car. Yeah, it's really good. And the memories of it are faded a bit now. So I played it on release, which is, I don't know, 15, 16 years ago. So I would love to play that again because I remember absolutely loving that game,
I
and
remember seeing it was a little documentary about it, and I heard that it's the closest thing you'll ever get to a second person game
yeah,
because you have a first person game, third
yeah.
person, first person and third person. The second person, it's one section in the game apparently where the police are chasing you, and then you jump into the police,
Yeah,
but you're still controlling the car in front.
yeah.
So you're looking at yourself driving, but you're the character behind.
Hmm.
So sort of in a narrative way, it works out that you're playing in second person, even though you're not. You're still playing in third, but
Yeah,
because it's from the cockpit of another car, and then you're playing. Yeah, and I thought that's the way the guy described it. I thought that is mad.
yeah.
You know?
It's mad, and I won't say too much as to reason why, because I don't want to do any spoilers because I can't
Yeah.
remember if that's declared at the start or the end. But anyway, um, it's really clever how they took a standard game and story with tropes and took it to this side and done it this way.
Yeah.
And I thought that really stood out. I don't think Driving San Francisco got nowhere near the praise it should have done at the time. I thought it was brilliant. Like I say, I bought it on release, was really excited for it, and we've been very disappointed with the last couple of driver games. Um, but yeah, really good. Definitely worth a play.
Well,
Definitely one.
that's definitely piqued me interest, and it's on both our lists, so that could be a possible one,
Yes,
definitely.
I would replay that at a heartbeat. I would definitely replay that. That's fantastic.
And one more that I was really want to play is the Back to the Future Telltale game.
Yes, yes.
It's sat up there. I actually got that given to me from my brother-in-law. I don't think he knew how much it's worth.
I was going to say that's worth the PS3 version's worth a few
Yeah,
pennies now, I think.
yeah. So, but he just said, "Oh, I don't want this. You want it?" And I went, "Yeah, yeah, I'll have that. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah, yeah, give it." But it's just sat up there. But I love the Telltale games, and it was like one of the first ones, weren't it? And before, like around the same time as one.
Yes, and I've played it on PS4. I have it on PS4. I've played the PS4 version.
Have you
Um,
got that? Have you got that physical?
mhm.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that's worth a penny as well now. Yeah,
yeah, it is. Yeah, and I'm the same as you. I like the Telltale games. I know people call them walking sims, but they're a bit more involved than that with your puzzle solving and quick time events. But I can still see why they get that tag. And I used to love them because you always, most of them you always get a platinum at the end as well because you
yeah.
just, it's a good way of getting a platinum. The Batman
Well,
game is
I've
really
only
good.
got I've only got two platinums, and one of them's The Walking Dead.
Oh, oh, well, that'll guarantee you another one. But I
Yeah,
have played this, and this is like a spin-off of Back to the Future, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
It
Not
doesn't
the
fun. No,
Yeah.
but you've got the characters in, and I think they've done it really well. That's a great fun game. You got the characters, you got Doc, and you got Marty, and you have to try and work out ways of sort of getting people to do this so you could do that to then help Doc out. And yeah, really good, really interesting. Good game. Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely one worth playing. It's a good choice actually because I hadn't thought of that. Not so I've never played a PS3 version either.
Right. But yeah, for the never played ones, that's pretty much the ones that. Oh, Mafia 2 as well, and the Max Payne 3, with it being a Rockstar game, you know it's going to be quality. So
Yeah, and even now when I see clips of that game, I still think that looks good for that generation. I mean, you wouldn't think that was, people always think of that generation as very brown games, but some of them they really got their machines to sing, didn't they? And I think Rockstar, well, they do with anything, don't they? I think, and even now with the, as of record, and the second trailer for GTA 6 has dropped, and even now people are just saying, hang on, that's running on a standard PS5, not even a Pro.
yeah,
And they're like, how have they got them graphics? That looks absolutely stunning, and yeah, they've always known how to push machines. But
it'll
yeah,
actually get your fan to kick in
yeah,
on your PS5.
yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
I know, because I don't have a PS5 yet. I've not had a game that made me want to grab one. Possibly Spider-Man 2, but not enough to spend that much money on one. So, and everyone I speak to say, "Oh, it's quiet as a mouse."
Yeah, they don't make a sound. Apart from
Just
the disk drive's noisy when you install a game for the first 2 or 3 minutes. Other than that, the actual machine, you don't hear a thing. It's very well
we'll
designed.
we'll get a bit of air blowing once that GTA 6 is in.
Get your first cutscene, you just hear it start doing the old
Yeah.
Chinook PS4 Pro, the old fan
The
go.
only game on my PS4 that happens with is Red Dead 2. It absolutely blasts out the back with that game, and I'm like it has to. It can't look like that on an 8th console without it.
And the thing is, as well, I've played a lot worse looking games than Red Dead 2 on a
On a
PS5.
PS5. Yeah, I
I've
think
played a lot worse.
I saw a comparison video between that, and I think it was well, George isn't going to like this. It was between that and Star Wars Outlaws. Just the physics, and they were
Mm.
just doing comparison. I thought it outperforms it in every way. So
Yeah, they they tend to release their games pretty tight, but they know what they're doing, they know what they want, and they release it. And there was even a podcast the other day talking about Red Dead Redemption 2 and what people can do in it. And someone was like, you do realize how old that game is? And told them, and they were like, what? They're like, yeah, this isn't a new game. This
seven
is,
7 years, seven
yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
Yeah,
And they were like, my God. It's like, yeah, they know what they're doing. And I played mine on a PS4 Pro. And I mean, I always kept mine clean. The fans are clean a lot. And that made that sound like that was going to take off. I thought this is going to blow in a minute. Do you know what I mean? But the hot air was still coming out the back, which is a good sign. And if
yeah,
for you don't know, if it's cold air coming out the back, then that's when you ought to worry. If it's hot air, it's exhausting that hot air. That's what you want coming out the back. But yeah, so yeah, Max Payne 3, I can see that being a contender as well.
yeah.
Any more you want to talk about? Or are you there? Or
Uh,
any of the replays you want to talk about? Or
replays. Remember Me. I've
Mhm.
played a good couple of hours of that, and it's a very interesting game.
Same here. And I got recommended that by George, and I done the same thing. I picked it up, played the first couple of hours, and just thought this is very different. The controls are a bit, but I thought very, very different. Definitely worth a revisit. That's a good call, that one.
Red Dead Redemption, because I got to a certain point in that game and I got a glitch where basically my bullets weren't working. I was shooting people and they're going straight through 'em. It was
Oh,
like
really?
it was only on it was like it was a set piece. It wasn't like in the open world. It was where you had to chase a guy into a room. He was holding somebody hostage towards a window, and you had to hit your dead eye and go in and take him out. Hit the dead eye, got the crosses up, and nothing happened. It just he shot the gun and he was just still stood there. I sort of reloaded my save because it was quite far into it. It was a good 5 or 6 hours into it.
Oh, how
I
unusual.
thought, oh well, I'll go back to it eventually because I tried it 3 or 4 times and it was doing the same thing. But
Yeah.
so God knows what happened there.
Yeah, I'd like to play Red Dead again. I mean, I've completed it 2 or 3 times. That's my friend's favourite game of all time. I'm not even an online gamer at all.
Mm.
But we played a lot of hours online on this in private, where we'd go through the missions together, the online missions, and in in the open world with other people and gang up and do things. It was. We even had a friend of ours once say, "Can I come online with you?" So my friend just made up and said, "Well, we'll have to see. You have to go for an initiation before you can join us online." He said, "Join our server, and then you can meet us down at this big fort." So anyway, we're waiting at the fort on the cannons. He comes round the corner. You just see him in the distance. Poof, shot this cannon. You just see him go. Poof. He go, "Oh, you just killed me. We come back, Castle. We're just joking." Anyway, done this about 10 times. He's like, "You're just going to kill me when I come there." I was like, "No, no, no. Come down to the castle." So anyway, eventually we let him down to the gates. He stood at the front. We said, "Right, you got to run around 10 times. You got to run up there, do that. You got to go and kill this bear, come back." And then we just shot him with the cannons again. But his memories like that were so good. And we played hours online. And then obviously we played Undead Nightmare,
Yeah.
completed that. And then we played Undead Nightmare online and all the hordes of zombies. And yeah, we had great fun that game. So yeah, an all-time classic that I'd love to revisit for that, definitely.
I need to finish it. It's definitely on my plate because let's say Red Dead 2 is is my favorite game of all time. So I need to play it. It has to be played. And I keep
Yeah,
putting it off because I know is it about 30 hours long or something like that.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
just like, well, if I start this now, I'm in.
yeah. And
And
then and then like Rockstar do these things where they'll then spin off and do Undead Nightmare, and you think, why are they doing a zombie?
yeah.
But it works. It works so well as superb. The first time you see a zombie bear come out of the woods, you're like, "What the hell?" It's yeah, brilliant. That's when you had DLC on discs as separate games, and yeah, I love that era.
Well, I've got them there. I've got Red Dead. I've got Undead Nightmare. And then in the charity shop, I found the Game of the Year edition with them both on it.
Ooh, nice.
So I've kept that as well. So I've got it twice. You know, so it's
No
just
excuse.
oh, I can trade in those other two now and then. I think but they look so nice all together on the shelf.
They do, don't
Yeah,
they?
so,
Yeah.
so they're staying where they
But any others you want to talk about, or should we go on
on the
to?
replay.
Yeah,
Burnout Paradise. I think you'll really enjoy that. I really, really
yeah.
do think you'll enjoy that.
Yeah, I need to kick up the bum to play that really, I think, and not say this series could be a good way of doing that.
And one, considering that the PS3 is my favourite system, that's an absolute crime that I haven't finished is The Last of Us. I've started that game so many times, and
What
it's
a
just
game.
like, and I
Uh,
get to a certain point, and I just, because I'm not a big stealth fan, and that is 90% of that game,
mm,
and I'm like, but I need forcing to do it because I know I'll love it. I know I'll love it
it
once I
is.
get to it.
Once you played Last of Us, and then you play Last of Us 2, which as a narrative game is probably the best written narrative of all time. The story, the way it's acted, the
Mm,
way you play the game, the decisions that game makes you do is
yeah,
unbelievable. Neil Druckmann is an absolute master at taking you on a story, but that's not necessarily going to be the story you want. This is what it would be like if you're in this situation, and he's going to show you. And brilliant. Get that first one played, and then get in the second one. Just make sure your PS3's running well because it's known as a PS3 killer. Last of Us, it's a bit of a
well,
yellow light of death. That.
I was very lucky with the system I've got now because it was a friend at work. He brought it in. He said, "Oh, I've brought this in for you," and it was in a box. And he said, "It's PS3." I said, "Oh, right." And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "It's been under my stairs." And I'm like, "Okay." And I opened it, and it was brand new,
Oh no
absolutely
way!
brand new. I'm like, "Are you sure you want to give me this?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I got it free with me telly." He goes, "About 10 years ago." He said, "And we used it twice to watch two Blu-rays, and then I bought a surround sound system with a Blu-ray player." He said, "So I just stuck it in the box. It's been under my." I took it out. Honestly, it was like I was unboxing a brand new system. The pad, because he bought a Blu-ray remote with it,
Yeah.
so the pad was still in the cellophane,
No
still
way.
with the sticker on it. And I'm like, "This is brilliant." And I turned it on. It's quiet as a mouse. It doesn't get used that much,
Yeah.
So I think I'll be fine. I probably should get the thermal paste change because it's probably dried up a bit over the years. But
Maybe make sure there's plenty of air around the sides as well, because
yeah,
they get in a little. Mine, my first one, I had two games sat on the side, and they fell over.
oh,
They blocked the side off, and it overheated. Just that one little side blocked by a couple of inches, yeah, and that killed it. But yeah, that's brilliant find that is, and that's almost like playing the games on a new system, isn't it? So it's fantastic.
all that was on it, he download. I think he downloaded two demos because he wanted to see, you know. But you don't. I don't know if he'd had a separate controller or whatever because the one that he gave me was brand new in the baggie still.
That's
Also,
mad, isn't it?
yeah.
Brilliant. But right, well, we'll get on to what we've already chosen what we're going to play. That's our lists. We'll go through over the next 12 months, and we'll pick a game each month, like we said. Um, Hopefully, we'll vary. Well, we'll vary the genres up and bits and pieces, and hopefully get a bit of racing in there, maybe a bit of first person, bit of adventure. We'll try and vary them up. But we said for this first month, we think our pick's going to be GTA 4. Um, I've completed it 2 or 3 times. I don't think you've finished it. Have you, Simon?
No, I got so far in. I think it was. I'm trying to think where I got up to. I think it's like when you first start getting the proper missions where you're being sent out to the suburbs to pick money up on guns and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I've been bowling with my cousin a few times, but that was about it. Didn't
Hey,
get too,
Nico.
yeah,
um,
but
yeah.
so I
Um,
was early on, very early on.
and we've basically said because everything's rock star at the moment with all the hype around GTA 6, and how big GTA 5 was. And I've been thinking about GTA 4 for a while. And then when we came up with the idea of this, and Simon saying that he hadn't finished GTA 4, I just thought, look, GTA's big at the minute. So let's get GTA 4 done. And to be fair, one of my favourite GTA games. And that weren't till actually George, the Lord himself of the Unofficial Controller podcast. We were discussing this a couple of years ago, and he was quite late to get into GTA 5. And he kept starting and not really going far and starting. And he just said, the ultimate GTA game is GTA 4. It's a real lived-in city. The cars handle like they do, and it's more vibrant, it's more real. And I kept thinking, don't know. And then went back to it to play through again and thought, it is. He's right. It is. It's fantastic. And how in depth they went with internet of the time and dating sites and pubs and and you could even go on to YouTube now and type in hidden details of GTA 4, and they go through little things they've done, and you just think, that's things 90% of gamers wouldn't even notice, but they still done that to get the realism in the game, And I know the story could be a bit silly, but yeah, really good. Really looking forward to playing it. There's also scope for the two, well, DLC, but actual hardware DLCs, or software DLCs, I should say, with Lost and Damned and the Ballad of Gay Tony, which, if you're listening and you've played those three, they all meet up, and it's very clever what they done with those games to meet up in the story like they did. That would be great to dip back into, but obviously we need to play the mainline game first. But for me, very excited to play it. Can't wait to get stuck back into this. The disc is sitting there next to my PS3 now, ready to go in tonight to get that installed, so I can jump on. What about you, Simon? What draws you to GTA 4?
Well, I was telling you before when I was checking that GTA 5 disc out and put it in just to see if it worked. And the next thing I know, I was 4 hours into it with the missus tapping me on the shoulder, telling me that I had to shut up because the kids were going to bed. So and I'm thinking, yeah, I love the GTA games. I mean, the earlier ones like GTA 3, San Andreas, Vice City. I never completed any of those because I'd always get sidetracked, banging the cheats in, go to the nearest building and shoot as many police as I could. Just
Yeah.
blowing, just get sidetracked, and that I never, it was the PS2 time, weren't it? So I, I just never got into the mission side of it. But when I did GTA 5, I put that in. I completed it in one hit. Put it in, coming home after work, 2 or 3 hours a night, and it was the only thing I ever played. And I think GTA 4, like you say, is decent story, brilliant city, everything that I love in that type of game. It's criminal that I haven't finished it because, like I say, I've started it 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
and something else has always crept in, whether it be online gaming with my mate. So, we'll play a bit of Rocket League tonight or something, or
Yeah.
I just get distracted, and then you forget where you were. You don't know where you are in the story.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've had different PS3s, so your save files gone, and So yeah, I need to be disciplined. I need to sit down, do what I used to do in the old days. Come home 2 or 3 hours a night before bed, and it'll be done in no time. And I know I'll love it. I know I'll love it. Can't love it. GT.
It's GTA, and I don't know what it is with GTA 4. It's just got um it's just something about it. I don't know what it is, whether it's I know they're all in depth, but they just seem to go that bit further. It was their
The
first.
mission structures, I think. I think the mission structures were a bit scatty in the older ones, if you know what I mean. It was just go where, nick this car, bring it back, go where, shoot these people.
Yeah, yeah,
GTA 4, you could notice the jump with the actual storylines
yeah,
interconnects, the characters interconnecting more than they were. It was just like this group of people over here you've got to deal with. And then it was a
yeah.
proper story.
Yeah,
And
it's that you could tell they went all in on it for their first game on, the GTA game on that system. They went all in and they wanted to see what they could do, and God, they done it. I remember, going with my cousin to have a game of darts. Ended up playing darts for ages in there and coming out absolutely hammered out of the pub. And you just think, and yeah, they really did want to see how much they could put in a game, and it doesn't feel like filler. It feels like you are Eastern European who's come to America, and this is all the things you do, like find a partner or try and make a name for yourself and try and earn some money and do taxi driving. It really, all that all links in, and you just think, there's something there of this game that stands it apart from the rest. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into this. But like I say, if you listen to this and you'd like to join us on our GTA 4 playthrough, like I say, you can either play it on the 360 or on the PS3. Jump on Discord. We'll have a once this is released within the next couple of days, we'll have a new little section up there for you to come and join in on. And once that section's up, I will put the chapter where we're going to play to on. I mean, I think the game's sort of 25 to 35 hours, depending on how far you go in. So I'll either do it as 2 stages or I'll pop it into 3 stages. Me and Simon will have a discussion where we're going to, what we'll go to. And I'll put where to play up to. And once we get there, we can all have a chat about it, what we're like and what we're not. Anyone gets stuck, we can help you if we've done those missions and go from there. But yeah, if you'd like to join in, jump on our Discord and yeah, it's going to be a good series, this, I think. So yeah, bring on GTA 4, I think. But now moves on to I will do our awesome subs list, which you are part of, Simon. Bits and pieces for the subscriber merch is all gone out now. Most people, as of recording, should have received theirs today. So I'm looking forward to seeing all your pictures and your t-shirts and mugs and magnets and bits and pieces. So I'm looking forward to seeing them online and bits and pieces. But they look good. We're really pleased with this, how this artwork's come out. So just a little something for you guys. Say thanks and for all what you do. And I'll read those guys out now. So our subs list is as follows. Cnox, our friend from Sweden, thank you very much. Yours is on the way out there. So no one Royal Mail, you'll probably get that in about 2028, but it's on its way. But thank you very much. Then we've got the One Man George fan club himself. That is Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. Then we've got the amazing firm returns. Awesome as always, mate. And I did see his picture already of his mug, so he's getting the full set there of those. So, but they do look good, the mugs, if I do say so myself. Then we've got the wonderful Trestles in New York. Thank you, Trestles, as always. Then we've got Bada Bing Star. Thank you very much, mate. Looking forward to seeing you rocking around with your t-shirt on. Then we've got the awesome Digital Monkery. He's our warden of the Discord. He's the competitions manager. He's yeah, we just need to make him the cleaner, and he does everything in UCP towers, I think. But thank you very much, Digital Monkery. Then we've got the awesome Game and Graham. If you're listening, mate, check your DMs. I need your address so I can get your merch sent. I'll send you a couple of messages, bless you. But yeah, if you check your DMs, and I'll get you bits and pieces sent. Then we've got a wonderful board border who's currently sunning himself out in I think he's out in Cyprus at the minute. So yeah, I've been walking around doing my post round while he's been out sunning himself with a beer. But yeah, he looks like he's having a great time, bless him. But thank you, mate. Then I'm gonna have to do this now. We've got the amazing Bo below us. So I've got to go. Going Bran. Thank you, Boba. Cheers, mate. Then we've got the awesome Ginge, biggest guns in Nottinghamshire. He's an absolute legend, is Ginge, bless him. But yeah, he's now I can't remember what he's up to now. Simon, can you
600 and is he?
640, 50 platinums, I think.
Yeah, I think it's about 650.
Yeah, I mean the man's a machine.
I don't think I've played 650 games.
I think I've played 650 games. I think Ginger's just got that concentration span where he's like, if I'm playing this, I'm playing this game. So yeah, fair play.
650 on the PlayStation. I know that.
Yeah, he's a legend, that boy. Absolutely brilliant. Then we've got the wonderful Lord of Darkness himself, Harvey Retro. If you ever want any artwork or video editing or bits and pieces done, he's your man. Thank you very much. Then we've got the wonderful Emma Sharp. Thank you, Emma, as always. She's getting ready to build her new games room, so she asked for a few tips and tricks. So I'm looking forward to seeing your games room, Emma. That's going to be awesome. Then we've got Greg, who is also nowhere near Berlin, and also is in the crew doing Forever Skies, which is now out, and you'll see on your PS5 dashboard or your Xbox dashboard. So yeah, give them a download, give the game a review, and yeah, that's going really well, I think, at the moment. So thank you, Greg. Then we've got the wonderful Mumsy. Thank you, Mumsy, as always. Then we obviously got the best ones of the lot, CRGT Fan Club. I can't say thanks to all of you because there's like two coach loads of you, so I can't name you all individually. I wish. Then we've got Pete Brocklehurst. Thank you, Pete. Billy Marmite, as always. Love him or hate him. My good friend Simon Pryke. Thank you, Simon Pryke. And then, how do you want me to do this, Simon?
Normal. Please just do it normally.
I'm just going to do it normally. Yeah.
It makes a little bit sick come up, when I'm listening.
You don't know how bad and dirty I feel every week after doing this. But anyway, and it's obviously the man himself, Simon Fatsangeef. Thank you very much, my man. It's very much appreciated. And thank you all to our subscribers, as always. And we say this every week, and I know you're probably bored of hearing it, but it really, really does make a difference with equipment and bills and bits and pieces and keeping the lights on and enabling us to do this. It is really, really much appreciated. So thank you all. But before we go, I will just jump on to say, Simon, what are you hoping to play? I know one of them.
Well, it's the only one I'll be playing, GTA 4. Yeah, won't be playing anything else.
That's what I like to hear. All in. Yeah. Me, I'll probably dip into a lot of the games I was saying at the start. Bit of Deus Ex, bit of Block 'em, Sock 'em. Them little games are handy when you've just got 15 minutes, before your tea's ready or you're popping out and you have a quick puzzle game, But I think Xenoblade might be taking a little bit of a back seat at the moment. While it's, yeah, definitely for me, it's going to be GTA 4. So I'm so looking forward to getting stuck back into this. So looking forward to playing the PS3. So looking forward to dusting off my Retro Fighters Defender controller, which I highly rate. They're brilliant controllers. And
I'm using that one. It's not a Retro Fighters. I think Easy SMX.
That's a nice controller, though, isn't it?
And it hasn't got any latency, considering it's through a dongle. I think it's a 2.4 gigahertz one. But
Yes, yeah, same as the Retro Fighters ones. Yeah, they're brilliant. These third party ones now. It used to be quite hard to get third
triggers as
party ones.
well, proper
Mm,
triggers and
yeah,
sticks.
yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely. That's a way forward now. I think that's worth if you're into that sort of seventh gen. Them controllers are good for the price. Um, but yeah, but I'll just say, well, thanks Simon for that.
been
It's been a
really good. Honestly, I need some focus because I'm hopping all over the place at the moment with my gaming. I'm not getting into any. I think I did about 3 hours on Evil West last month. Really enjoyed it. Not loaded it up since.
mm,
I need some focus to really get back into and start finishing some of these because it's pointless having them.
yeah, I've been a bit the same myself, and so I've really been chomped at the bit for the PS3, but something else always comes up. But now, even the Xbox 360, I've hardly turned it on. Now I've got them both set up, can really focus, get stuck in, and play. And like I say, if you want to join us, come join us. If you're playing Xbox 360 version, even better. We can compare versions. See if there's any differences, any frame rates, bits and pieces. We can all chuck that in the conversation. So yeah, the more the merrier. Like I say, that'll be going up in Discord after this recording goes out within the next couple of days. So yeah, really good. But yeah, like I say, thanks for that, Simon. We're going to crack on now quickly. Well, I say quickly. We're going to install GTA 4, which will probably take about 15 hours. And then hopefully by tomorrow we'll be playing that game. But yeah, so I'll just leaves me one thing to say, which is there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you later, Simon.
See ya.